When a partnership firm is dissolved, its books are closed, the assets are sold, and the liabilities paid off. Let us discuss in detail what is the accounting treatment in event of dissolution of a partnership firm. When a firm is dissolved, the books are closed, the profit or loss arising from settlement of assets and liabilities is ascertained. An account called realization account is prepared to calculate the net profit or loss to the firm on account of realization of assets and settlement of liabilities. All assets except cash and bank balances and fictitious assets, as well as all the liabilities of the firm, are transferred to this realization account. This account also records the sale of assets, the payments of liabilities, and the realization expenses incurred. Finally, the balance that is arrived at in the realization account represents the profit or loss on realization. This profit or loss is transferred to the partners' capital accounts in their profit sharing ratio. Here, we can see the format of the realization account. Firstly, as we can see here, all the assets are transferred to the debit side and all the liabilities are transferred to the credit side of the realization account. The sale of assets or assets taken over by a partner is recorded on the credit side, whereas payment of liabilities or liabilities assumed by a partner is recorded on the debit side. If the final balance in the realization account is a credit balance, then it indicates a profit on realization, whereas the final debit balance indicates a loss on realization. This profit or loss is finally transferred to the partner's capital accounts. Let us see what are the transactions that take place at the time of dissolution, and then we will discuss the journal entries for these transactions. First and foremost, all the assets and liabilities of the firm have to be transferred to the realization account. Of these, assets will either be sold or taken over by any partner. The liabilities will either be paid or any partner takes up the responsibility to discharge such liabilities. Certain creditors may be settled through the transfer of assets to them. The realization process incurs expenses which need to be paid off. Any unrecorded assets, including goodwill, etc., have to be realized, and any unrecorded liabilities will have to be settled. Once all these adjustments are done, the profit or loss arising on realization will be transferred to the partner's capital accounts. Any accumulated profits and any fictitious assets have to be transferred to the partner's capital accounts. The partner's loan balances have to be settled, and finally, the partner's capital account balances have to be settled. Let us now discuss the journal entries for all these transactions. Also, one important thing to note is that once the assets and liabilities are transferred to the realization account, in all the journal entries that record the transactions relating to realization of assets and settlement of liabilities, at least one item in the journal entry is the realization account, which means that for all the entries relating to the realization of assets and settlement of liabilities, either a debit or a credit goes to the realization account and not to the actual asset or liability account, since all the assets and liabilities are transferred to the realization account. Firstly, as we saw, all the assets and liabilities have to be transferred to the realization account. All the assets except cash and bank balances and fictitious assets are transferred to the realization account at book value, and the sundry debtors have to be transferred at their gross value, whereas the provision for doubtful debts is transferred along with the liabilities. We know that asset accounts carry debit balance. So, to close the account and transfer it to the realization account, we debit the realization account and credit the asset account, thereby closing the asset account and transferring the balance to the debit of the realization account. Similarly, all the external liability accounts, including provisions, should be transferred to the realization account and as a consequence be closed. This is done by debiting the liability account since liabilities hold a credit balance, and giving it a debit closes the liability account, and a corresponding credit is given to the realization account, thereby transferring the liability account balances to the credit of the realization account. Once the assets are transferred to the realization account, they are either sold or taken over by any partner. After transferring the assets to realization account, if the asset is sold, then the entry passed to record the same is by debiting the bank account to record the amount received in sale and crediting the realization account for the amount for which the asset has been sold. After transferring to the realization account, if the asset is taken over by a partner, then the transaction is recorded by debiting the partner's capital account for the amount for which the asset is taken over and crediting the realization account. The net effect of these entries is that asset goes out of the firm by way of a credit to the realization account. Where the assets were first transferred and sold, the bank balance of the firm increases, and if taken over by a partner, the partner's capital account balance decreases. It is important to note that the individual asset account is not credited since such asset accounts are already closed while transferring the assets to the realization account. Once the liabilities are transferred to the realization account, they are either paid off or any partner takes the responsibility to discharge such liability. After transferring to the realization account, if a liability is paid off by the firm, then the transaction is recorded by debiting the realization account for the amount at which the liability is paid off, and a corresponding credit is given to the bank account to record the amount paid to settle the liability. After transferring to the realization account, if a partner takes over the responsibility to discharge a liability, then such transaction is recorded by debiting the realization account for the amount at which the partner assumes the responsibility, and a corresponding credit is given to the partner's capital account. The net effect of these entries is that the liability goes out of the firm by way of a debit to the realization account where the liabilities were first transferred. And if paid, the bank balance of the firm decreases, and if assumed by a partner, then the partner's capital account balance increases. Here also again it is important to note that the individual liability account is not debited since such liability accounts are already closed while transferring the liabilities to the realization account. Sometimes creditors may accept an asset as a settlement rather than accepting cash. In such a scenario, either the creditor accepts an asset as a part payment of his dues and the rest is to be paid in cash, or the creditor may accept an asset as a full and final settlement for his dues, or a creditor may accept an asset whose value is more than the amount due to him and he will pay the difference amount to the firm. Let us discuss what happens in each of these scenarios. When a creditor accepts an asset as a part payment of his dues and the other part has to be paid in cash, then the firm has to account for the same only to the extent of the portion that is paid in cash. The entry for the same is done by debiting the realization account and crediting the bank account with the amount that is paid through bank to the creditor. Now let us understand the effect of this entry. Here, the value of what was due to the creditor from the firm is more than the asset taken over by him. So, from the balance of what was due to him, the extent to which is covered by the value of the asset is set off by the asset in the realization account. And so, we should account for only the cash that is paid up and above the value of the asset to clear the creditor's dues. The value of that difference which is due to the creditor, which is paid by cash, is treated in the same way how we treat the payment of liabilities. So the realization account is debited since liabilities are transferred to the credit of the realization account, and giving a debit nullifies such liabilities balance, and credit is given to bank since cash balance is going out of the firm. When a creditor accepts an asset as a full and final settlement for his dues, then no entry is passed in the books, since the actual gain or loss on account of such settlement will reflect in the realization account itself. In a scenario where a creditor accepts an asset whose value is more than the amount due to him, then he has to pay back to the firm the difference between the value of the asset settled with him vis-a-vis what was actually due to him. The firm will make entries only for the portion that is paid by the creditor to the firm in cash. The entry for the same is by debiting the bank account and crediting the realization account with the amount that the creditor pays to the firm. Now, here let us understand the effect of this entry. Here, the value of what was taken over by the creditor is more than what was actually due to him. So, firstly, out of the value of the asset, an amount equal to what was due to the creditor is set off in the realization account. And the additional value of the asset taken over after setting off the creditor's dues must be accounted for. That extent of the value of the asset, which is up and above of what was due to the creditor, is treated in the same way how we treat the sale of assets. So, bank account is debited since cash comes into the firm, and realization account is credited since such asset was already closed and the asset was reflecting in the realization account. The process of dissolution involves incurring of certain expenditure. These expenditures may be either incurred and paid by the firm, or a partner may agree to undertake the dissolution work for an agreed remuneration and he bears the expenses that may rise thereon. Or sometimes a partner may pay the realization expenses on behalf of the firm. These three are the scenarios that may arise and involve different kinds of accounting in the books of the firm. Let us discuss this now. If the expenses are incurred and paid by the firm, then the same is accounted in the books of the firm by debiting the realization account and crediting the bank account, since cash is going out of the firm. This entry is similar to the entry of the firm paying off its liabilities, wherein realization account is debited and bank is credited. So in this case too, the expense hits the debit of the realization account and the bank is credited as expenses being paid. When the expenses are paid by a partner on behalf of the firm, then the same is accounted by debiting the realization account and crediting the concerned partner's capital account with the amount paid by such partner towards the realization expenses. This entry is similar to the entry of the partner assuming the responsibility to discharge a liability. Similarly, here as well, the expense hits the debit of the realization account and the partner's capital account balance increases. When a partner agrees to undertake the dissolution work for an agreed remuneration and bears the realization expenses, then two scenarios may arise. Either the realization expenses is made by the firm, or the partner himself pays the realization expenses. Further, entry must also be made in the books of the firm for the agreed remuneration paid to the partner. When the payment of the realization expenses is made by the firm through the partner, then the entry is passed by debiting the partner's capital account with the expenses amount and crediting the bank account. The partner's capital account is debited since the expense is being paid by the firm through the partner, and the bank account is credited since the money is going out. If the partner himself pays the realization expenses, Then no entry is to be passed in the books of the firm since the partner has paid through his own account and the transaction does not hit the firm's books. If the firm pays the agreed remuneration to the partner, then such transaction is recorded by debiting the realization account with the amount paid to the partner and crediting the partner's capital account. The realization account is debited to record the payment of remuneration, and the partner's capital account is credited as the firm is liable to pay the remuneration to the partner, which will be paid to him at the time of finally settling the partner's capital account balances. When any asset that was unrecorded is realized, including assets like goodwill, then such transaction is recorded by debiting the bank account and crediting the realization account since money flows into the firm and the asset is realized. Similarly, when any liability that was unrecorded is to be settled, then the transaction is recorded by debiting the realization account and crediting the bank account since the money goes out of the firm and the liability is settled. Once all the entries relating to the realization of assets, settlement of liabilities, and realization expenses are passed, then the realization account is balanced. A final credit in the realization account indicates a profit on realization, whereas a final debit balance in the realization account indicates a net loss on realization. If there is a profit on realization, such profit in the realization account has to be transferred to the partner's capital accounts. This is done by debiting the realization account with the profit amount, thereby nullifying the credit balance and closing the realization account and transferring the same to the partner's capital account by crediting the partner's capital accounts. If there is a loss on realization, then such loss in the realization account also has to be transferred to the partner's capital accounts. This is done by crediting the realization account with the loss amount, thereby nullifying the debit balance and closing the realization account and transferring the same to the partner's capital accounts by debiting the partner's capital accounts. If there exists any accumulated profits in the books of the firm in the form of reserve fund or general reserve, then in the process of dissolution, such accumulated profits should be distributed among the partners by debiting the reserve fund or the general reserve as the case may be and crediting the partners capital accounts. Since they are accumulated profits, they carry a credit balance, and by giving a debit, the balances in these accounts get closed. If there exists any fictitious assets, then the same should be transferred to the partners' capital accounts in their profit sharing ratio. Since these are assets, they carry a debit balance, and so in order to transfer them, a credit has to be given. So the transfer of the fictitious assets is done by debiting the partner's capital accounts and crediting the fictitious assets account with the value of the fictitious assets, thereby closing the fictitious assets accounts. If any partner has advanced loan to the firm, then such loan should be repaid. The partner's loan account carries a credit balance. So in order to close it, we should debit it. So the entry of repaying the partner's loan accounts is by debiting the partner's loan account and crediting the bank account since cash goes out of the firm and as a consequence, partner's loan is repaid and closed. Once all these adjustments are done, the partner's capital accounts are balanced. When balanced, if the partner's capital account shows a debit balance, he has to bring in the necessary cash into the firm to close his capital account. And if the partner's capital account shows a credit balance, then the firm has to pay the balance to him to close his capital account. When a partner's capital account shows a debit balance, such balance in the partner's capital account is closed by debiting the bank account, thereby cash coming into the firm from the partner, and crediting the partner's capital account with the amount of the debit balance in his account, thereby closing the partner's capital account. When a partner's capital account shows a credit balance, such balance in the partner's capital account is closed by debiting the partner's capital account with the amount of the credit balance in his account, thereby closing the partner's capital account and crediting the bank account, thereby cash being paid to the partner. It is to be noted that the final balance in the cash and bank account will be exactly equal to the final balance in the partner's capital accounts. If a certain partner's capital account has a debit balance, then the bank balance of the firm will not be sufficient to pay off the credit balances in the other partner's capital accounts until the partner whose capital has a debit balance pays such balance to the firm, which can then be utilized to pay off the other partners who have a credit balance in their capital accounts. So, the entire process of dissolution can be summed up as: firstly, the realization of assets and settlement of liabilities takes place. Then, the profit or loss on such realization is ascertained and distributed amongst the partners. Then, accumulated profits are distributed amongst the partners, and fictitious assets are transferred to the partners' capital accounts. Then, any partners' loans that exist are paid off, and finally, the partners' capitals are settled and closed.